But a long zone, a long push across the way, and then running out of mats. This impact couldn't come any sooner. They found one on Unknown early on, but it wasn't enough to last them through this entire pot. And they do get one, but he doesn't drop down to get the loot because it was not possible. And a player all the way in front of their tarp.
And now their plans and their decisions are just completely flipped on top of their heads. Finally get back in their own tarp, but there's another and a 2-for-1 special with 2 tacks just colliding to that head. They get that full Elam and RPG to play with as well. And Floppers, this could be their hype moment.
Yeah, he's going for Flopper plays. Scoped. I want to really quickly, it was Ronaldo who was still up in the feed. Now Cheech has high ground.
Cheech has high ground. He's going to try and push out if he can. He's got the rocket. He's got 6 rockets in. He's going to try and keep pushing forward. He's got no more floppers left, though. Needs to be careful. Only 30 health. Rocket falls on the head. Got 231 white. How does this player not go down to 4 damage? Must be so low down there. Zone pulls back across along the tarps, though, so he's pretty good up here. Gets the knock. There's no way he's going to get the materials, but he finishes it off. He's sitting in a good position, but he is solo. I mean, look at the health, though. He's only got 30. If someone knocks him down, it's going to be crazy scary.
I heard a grappler somewhere on low ground, though, so a possibility of Arab still being alive or someone else popping up, getting that loot, and possibly taking height. Aussie mentioned the mats are not there. This is one of those final moments. The server actually smaller than usual, but that might be because of that natural low ground. What are his possibilities here?
Yeah, so right now he's on high ground. He's got this one if he can. He's got no mass to get down, though. He's got 5 builds. Like, I don't even think he can waterfall down far enough here. He's going to have to be so conservative. Wants to knock out second height, but if he knocks out second height, where's he going to go? I don't know what his plan is here. He's going to have to jump down and reuse this old brick. I think here he goes. I've got a bit of death runs here at endgame. This is so sketchy. He's got every advantage except for the materials on the high ground, dropping the rockets down, and the scar gets the knock. Siphons him back up, so 4 damage isn't as scary now. It's a 1v1 situation. He has every advantage on the high ground. AR's out. He's got a green tag. May not even have to use it. If this player has no builds, he's not getting up anyway. I think he's just going to safe play this one out. No, does still have the builds. He has to sit on the cone. He can't even try and block him off. He has to go for it. Sits behind the cone beautifully. Gets an 82 tag.
Hype is real.
I mean, these guys, a solo loadout is what he had. An RPG about, okay, how is Innocence going to be in front of me? Where do I catch up with him? In a split-second decision, he looks at height, floppers up, RPGs through, and controls it.
They're not messing around in seasonal finals. We saw last week, basically, the switch that they flipped on after that ridiculous semis performance out of Unknown. We thought, we were still doubting. We were still pressing F to doubt, but no, they're here. They're playing in the finals. Ronaldo's able to rein him in. Are one of you guys going to talk? Either one of you guys?
You're
I was
fine,
waiting
mate.
for the triangle to go around.
Oh, the triangle around. My bad. Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, it's been pretty incredible for both of them. Like I said, I think the big one for me was, I was actually talking to Chav about this yesterday as well. It's crazy to see. Like, I've got a lot of respect for Clicks, whether he got convinced not to stream or whether he did. The fact that he is, again, we've had questions of how much like kind of money was in these tournaments. I think Clicks would honestly possibly make more money if he doesn't perform insanely well today from just streaming it. But he's showing his competitive spirit. He clearly wants to be respected as a competitive player again. We saw a couple months ago, or I think a month ago, he announced on Twitter, I'm sick of just being a playground warrior. I really want to get into competitive again. I'm going to stop box fighting. I'm going to play tournaments. And I mean, not streaming it is the most serious that you can take that. That's a massive decision.
And we do have the leaderboards ready. But I do want to also go back for a second to what we saw in the early game. What does that mean for Zayt and Saf? The game has started. Let's hop in the leaderboard. We'll answer that question as we watch that unfold again. Here it is, top 10 to start. We'll only stick on the first page because nothing too much has developed besides Innocence and Agers, 19 points in the win. AV and Chap, 13 points. I'm not sure where that came from. We didn't quite see that full perspective, but we saw the setup. Also, you talked about it. Out of Grotto, so dangerous for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. And it looks like they got it. 13 points. Can't see the placement to elimination split there. But I think, yeah, we didn't see him too much in the end game. I don't know if they fragged out mid-game maybe. Couldn't quite see it. But Senton and Edgy sticking around, like you said, 13 points. That is massive as well. What, Yakel and Jaith, 11 points. Unknown Ronaldo. So that means Ronaldo secured. I don't know how many limbs they had. It's unknown. You can never count out. He could have got 5 limbs early game. But Ronaldo picking up 10 points for his team after Unknown goes down is massive.
Yeah, and we'll see exactly what happens after that in game 2 because it's all about the continuation. You have that pop-off performance, you have to follow it up, and after game 1 comes game 2. We're going to be diving right back into things.
Yeah, they get the elimination, get a bit of a reset, upgrades to the epic tack, looking really nice now, get a full mat refresh. Don't think they're picking it up. Maybe it's not a full mat refresh. No, this player was shambles. That's why he was trying to phase in there. He had absolutely nothing. I'm not sure who that was. That definitely was a fight he had to take. It was either make or break for him. That team on Hotel might be able to even hold the high ground. This zone isn't so far away. You could tarp to it. They could have a position of dominance coming into this now.
And even if they don't have position, Kaz is just so much of a monster. You get him in the same vicinity, the same box as someone else, that's an impact. And now these guys are fully topped off on the best match you could possibly ask for, have the options of a minigun to use as well. And here's the winners from game 1. They're in position for a good game as well. They have a lot of materials, a lot of ammo, a bandage cannon healing up.
But this is the danger that you see with Innocence and Agers. Time and time again, they play dead side so much. They're not even in zone yet, and yes, the pressure continues. They do get the heals off, and he starts carrying the bandage bazooka, which is increases in value so much in towards the end game. The spam, though, makes it so that they get split a little bit, and looking forward, that zone goes max distance.
Yeah, can't hear anything. They can't hear those big impact sounds. Not even hearing too many heavy snipes. We just saw that Innocence used it to go through the wall there. He might have to refresh and do it again. There's a lot of fully built hard mass. He's trying to make his way through. There's a player just in front of him, though. The first player he's seen for quite a while. Let's see if he can make something from it. Getting pinned right against the wall. It's now make or break, stuck up against the cone. I don't think he can even farm these mats quick enough to get through. He's just pickaxing it. Goes down 10th, unfortunately. We go back over here to Lazar and Sizzlucky, looking in an entirely different situation. Full health, almost full shield for both of them. They're looking amazing. He's got the flopper too. Not even choosing to use it.
And in game 1, you saw Agers clutching up. Now it's Innocence all the way to 10th place. They get 2 thresholds and push themselves up. Still says Lucky down. Lazar now in zone, but he's got a flopper he can wait for. And that's what he's going to do. Yes. He waits for it. It's Zypha who's still alive. 13 people right now in this zone. It's coming down to it. He's still in zone. RPG. 3 people in front of him. Here it comes. Can it connect? No connections at all, but height is taken.
I think
and now it's that final moment. He has it.
I have no idea. Do you think he's going to get it, Shyo? You go with it, man. You take it. See, is he going to run it?
He has all the mats available to him in this moment, has the RPG. Now it's actually going to be blocked by a layer that's right below him. He has the connection. 200 mats, though. Just a few rockets left. This is the last one. He only has a blue tack, so if there's someone with a purple pump, it's going to be impossible. There's one knock. It might be a 1v1. The beam's there. He finds the angle. Doesn't connect. Now drops down. And that's the tack to take the game. Game 2 momentum. And Lazar are not at the bottom of the pack now. They are at the top.
So you go, Shyo. We're going to look at the leaderboard. You guys run through it. How's the leaderboard look for us?
Yeah, I mean, we have standings ready to see actually how that silence broke down. So still at first, I think for the first time even holding their spot, at least today, in any region, it's Agers and Innocence winning 1 game. Still excellent performance that we saw. Now the opposite clutch, Innocence on top, 26 points. After that, the clutch from Lazar P instead of Sizz Clutchy is going to be netting these guys 23 points in the win. After that, Clicks and Calc having another good game, boosting them back up with more points from 5th or 6th place all the way up to 3rd.
And if you open Fortnite Tracker, this is actually going to be the optimal way to look at these leaderboards because Clicks and Calc also looking very consistent, top 10 performances in both. But this one was a 4th place and 6th Elim game. AV and Chat fell in 19th, like you guys were calling out in chat, with only 3 elims, but that was actually already all the way towards 7th zone, so much happening in that one. But it was Bizzle and Seats who got 2nd place to put them in 6th. Here's the second page and how this is all shaping up. Unknown Ronaldo fall all the way to 12th. Postic and Smacked rise up a little bit, up to 11th. And there's Zexro and Macwood, the rivalry against Calc, but they're up higher now against Zexro and Macwood, who are obviously, they got 2nd place in squads last time we had the FNCS.
Yeah, we
saw a couple
how
close was OCE this morning?
OCE was insanely close. Last night for us this morning, it was probably one of the most insane tournament finishes I've ever seen. Going into round 6, you had 3 teams on the exact amount of points. You had 3 teams on 37. 2 of those teams actually had 37 points pretty much after game 2, and then had awful games, 3 games in a row. Going into rotating zones of game 6, they were all still alive. It was a pretty intense finish. And yeah, shout out to Quid and Jinx. They managed to bring it back.
They're fighting now. They have to knock this guy down. Otherwise, he's losing the high ground and losing the possibility for impact.
Yeah, they need to try and find their way in. Only does have 1 ammo left. Oh, gets a beautiful pistol shot. I think that was the last bullet. I don't know if it was a headshot. That was nasty. A clean little shot there. 10 points gained for them now. There's the bit of the mat refresh they need. Only 13 players alive. I think this 150 mats might be enough to close it out. No, Kaz goes down though. He's got the roof. Can he edit back in? He's trying to edit in. He's trying to use that purple pump, but he doesn't. He's got a nice loadout, but he has to solo this. Are we going to continue the solo clutch storyline? Shyo, do you think he can clutch it out? What do you reckon?
Right now, it's just about Crims operating on what he knows best, which is box-to-box fights, peanut butter edits. He might not get the chance. Has to play through zone. He gets taken out. It's a wrestler skin. Who is it? We don't know. It's going to be Arab in mid-ground. No, now low. He's going to be in a clutch situation as well. Aussie.
Yeah, he is. He's going to try and close this one out. Let's see it. Arab first time in endgame. Can he solo clutch it? He's got to try and do it. Coops has gone down. He somehow doesn't have the grappler. Must have given that to Coop at some position. He's going to try and go for it. 9 players alive. 4 eliminations for him. 9 points. Gets the cone in. He's got the epic tack. Trying to do some work with it. Seeing if he can. Plays underneath him. Heavy snipe. Has the edit. Beautiful play. Arab so fast. Let's see it. He's going for it. 93 health. 33 goes down. Secures top 5 though. The characteristic hype we're used to seeing from Arab. A massive play. That extra 1 elim nets him the top 5 placement and the 1 elim point. That was huge. Puts him into 12-point game for them. Massive. See if we have someone else going for the end. Go back into replay modes and make sure we have perspective of the winner. I think he's gonna have to wait out for the placements right now. 4 teams alive, it looks like. So 3 teams alive, 5 players, which means there's gonna be at least 1 full duo in this. Now it's a 2v1, I believe, unless my math is wrong. Yeah, is it a 2v1? Yes, it is. We have Acorn and we have Jack Fisher here gonna try and take him down. Surely they close this one out. They looked for high ground. They assumed he was on high ground. They didn't even know he was on low. So they RPG'd out, have the builds to go for it. That might be his advantage because it means they have no information on him. They clearly have 0 idea where he is, but they're going to have to assume if he's not up, he's got to be down. So he's down there. He's huddling under some of these builds. Gets some good shots though. Hits him low. Maybe he can pull this one back. Acorn's he's going to try and get the big pots off, but the zone's coming through. He might be able to get it off and then pop the flopper. It's a 2v1, but he's doing phenomenal in this 2v1. Jack Fisher goes down with no shield now too. He just closed it out, but such an insane effort from him on low ground. He played that insanely well.
I believe we have leaderboards updated, so let's see exactly how that replay played out over the scores of the night. I believe that was game 3 overall. So right now, Agers and Innocence still at the top spot, 35 points. In that game specifically, they had 6 eliminations, 12th place overall. So even if they can't win games, they stay sticking to the top of the leaderboard. And I think this is the first time in the duels FNCS, at least in NA East, EU, NA West, we've seen someone just hold the top spot.
Yeah, looking like it. They're doing really well. They're still holding out. They're just getting those little points each game. They're not really having any insane pop-off games since game 1, but they're still just getting up there. They're doing well. Sizlucky and Lazar jumping up into 30 points as well. We have Akon and Jack Fisher, obviously the winners there, 29 points. So they must have been just outside that top 10. I didn't see them, but that was a high point game, but it wasn't so high to jump them into top 3. So they're playing consistent as well. One to look out for, Nosh and Chaotic, obviously made it through with that game. Aspect and Animal, complete competitive veterans, and Cease and Bizzle. Look how good it seems to see those two together up there, the 2 teams right next to each other. Real old school throwbacks. And Clicks and Calc showing that maybe this decision was good. I know a lot of people question Clicks' decisions to drop Blake and go with Calc, but seems to be working pretty well now. I don't know what's happening to Blake. We saw last game him getting very frustrated, but we have the NA West duo. I know they're on NA East, but they've still got to be known as the NA West duo. Sent and Edgy in top 10, and Arab and Coop slipping in.
And when it's this small, when there's a mountain beside you as well, it's so unlikely for anyone to go down. That still gets carried. I believe that's actually Panda who ends up getting cleaned up right there. Jamper now moving forward, moving through, has a big task at hand to get up this mountain. 7 people left alive, 4 different duos. A bunch of solos in this mix then. Paper, not going to be one of them. He's with Jamper. They look for shots all the way up and through. Here comes Intensity, Silence. They're not sure exactly what's going on above them, but they can't check because if they do, they're going to get taken out just like Panda. 9th zone still. No one's gone down. People are launch padding. We can't see how or why. It's this duo that has the focus. Tabs and Colazo popping off all the way on height. And here they are. 50 mats with an AR beaming down. Can they hold the door against Jamper and Paper?
He does hold the door for a second, but then gets a big pump to the face. Tabs in what appears, I think, maybe a 1v1 or 1v2. I think the other guy's knocked. We'll have to see. Tabs. Yes. Jamper goes down, so it's Tabs versus Paper. A 1v1, and it quick ends as the AR just destroys through the wood build. And there we go. Tabs and Colazo take game number 4. We got to rush through this and get to the leaderboard because games are starting right away. Let's get into it, get into page number 1, and then also hop back in. We had to spend so much time getting that system back up. It's still Innocence and Agers on top, and Animal and Aspect. Redemption for them possibly in week number 2. We're only going to look at top 10. 36 point for Animal and Aspect. That thing that they did onto Chap at AV, Aspect clutching a little bit and getting more placements. I think possibly one of the most consistent placement teams in the entire tournament so far.
This is so close at the top. This is what you want to see. Look at that, 6 points separating the top 6. This is crazy. And seeing a lot of old Vanguards in there, Cease and Bizzle being crazy consistent. I'm actually looking for them to kind of come back with this. And then, yeah, Calkin Clicks, 29 points. Arab and Coop jumping up there again. There's going to be real tight at the top to finish this one off. And Colazo coming out of nowhere on the 24 points.
going all the way around, only getting tagged once. AV's going to be at the fray of a lot of shots, but he doesn't get tagged a single different time. And both in the same box, a perfect landing. 24 people left, don't have to worry about Storm Surge. Unnatural low ground. They box up. Final match though from Chap. Does AV have any to boot?
No. I'm out of mats,
They're gonna have to make something. Here it is. AV's like opening up some of these edits. They want to have it. They're giving the purple pump. So I'm not sure what this one's about. So no, he's dropping it back down. AV's gonna take it back. They need a big pump. Keep it on the controller player. AV's aim for this is nuts. He's sitting back in the tunnel, seeing if someone's coming through the edge. There is player above them, but AV gets shot from behind as they go for an 80 tag. That might even be Zex or Macwood. I saw the soccer skins. I saw the colors. I'm not sure whether it is outside their box. 19 alive, 1 elimination. AV's getting in. Chap's not following. The call is following me. The edits are coming out, just missing. He's taking some solid damage. He's got to keep pushing through, trying to find his way in. The heavy sniper's not reloaded. Can't use that to get in the box. Only has the grey tag. Even if he gets in, 2 players in front of him. No, misses the shots and he goes down. Chap and AV going down just inside top 10 as we go back over to Colazo, the winner of last game.
Now Colazo moving forward. Has the minis, a medkit able to pop. Does he have time? Doesn't look like it. Zone's actually pushing up. Tabs will have to be the person possibly to clutch over. But all the shields are on Colazo. He needs this elimination. Doesn't get it. Tabs is the one to confirm. He has floppers. You can hear it from Colazo's comms. This is a possible big play, a pad that he can't come back and get. No, he chooses to come through. He has it. And heavy sniper behind him, though. Who's that? It doesn't matter. No, it's Gilly that kills him, but no idea who goes down. They do get top 5.
They get top 5 placement points. I don't know if there's any other perspectivists to go off right now. This player has the grappler as well. This is Gilly. He has the grappler on low ground. He's going to try and maybe go up for the high ground play. He does. 80 tag. Takes the high ground. A little bit of damage on the way through. He still hasn't completely have it though. Some AR shots as well though. He is doing phenomenal. He's getting a 39 tag. He is just holding his own in this lobby. Is now 3 players alive. It might be 1v2 on low ground. No, it's a 2v1 and they closed it out. So I believe that was Gilly's teammate, right? Unless I've gotten that wrong. That was a huge finish. He just stood up toe-to-toe with the zone and just clapped back.
It's Mikey and Grandma Teats, and time again, they're at least combining for 1 win in these games. And since we're going to the last game, we have these for a little bit, and also, not only we're going to look at the top 10, who it's getting even closer. Ooh. Oh my goodness. On this first page, it's only 8 points. It's literally so close, but we are going to look all the way towards the top 20. I do want to stick on this page for a second and see what you guys see. Shyo, first thoughts on the top 10 here.
I mean, the final breakout moment for Arab and Coop. This man has been struggling with different squads all the time, being told he's getting carried, but finally has that recognition for being in 3rd place. At the same time, up here, Animal Aspect, a story we haven't seen, missing the pages of the book for generations, finally found in the grass, stapled together, and they're back in 4th place. 38 points. It's still anyone's game. People could get knocked out of 10th place too.
I'm looking at Cease and Bizzle here too as well. 34 points. I think they went outside placement points there, so they could have a big win. If you think about everyone switching up wins, the team that's up there right now who hasn't had a win, who has the ability to clutch it out, it's got to be Bizzle. I mean, Cease as well, but how many times has Bizzle clutched up at the end of a tournament? I have to put my money on them to close this one out. They're only 5 points away from the top, but this leaderboard's looking insane, but Ages of Innocence, unfortunately, not finding too much consistency towards the end now, correct? I don't know if I'm wrong, but I feel like the points haven't changed too much for them since the last game. I think that was a 3-point game for them, and then Animal and Aspect had 0 points as well. So yeah, it's so tight. I have no idea right now.
I think the top of 10 here, as we move on to the next page, are close all to about 10th average placement. Most of them missing 1 game of placement the entire time. And AV and Chap, 30 points. They're still also in contention. Remember, it was 39 at the top. I'd say anybody who's within 15 at this stage can still make a dent on that top 1. But of course, it really depends on how many of those top 15 don't stay consistent, because then you got to overtake so many different people. But I still would put Scented, Edgy, all these guys up to there pretty much in contention to take first here. They are. It's Cheech again in the feed. So many of these names. Innocence or Age are still up and still fragging, but another name is Zexor, who's still up in this. Remember the start at the Shark, he actually makes it all the way here, even though we thought it wouldn't. But look at this zone, 17 people alive, surviving in Craggy Cliffs, still 15. Moving in the last one as Coop picks up a big impact.
Arab picks up a nice medkit as well. These guys move forward. This is their moment. Coop actually going down. No, that's Cheech going down to Coop down below. And now a final clutch moment for Innocence for Ages. They finally get eliminated. Arab now is going to be the clutch player. He gets 1 pump. The next one, that was the one on Ages. He's going to be looking to survive afterwards. It's a big tag. It's not enough to take him out or break his focus whatsoever. No builds. 1 person gets knocked before him. That's the last wall to block off. Gets him a nice refresh. There's 100 mats left. He keeps moving forward. This is his moment.
Can Arab pull it off? 8 players alive, 6 eliminations. This is his moment. Can he step out? He hasn't had the respect for the community for a long time now. Can he pull it off? He's going for the med kit play, the old school specialty. My God, the new school player going for the old school play. He's rotating through now, coming out late. He has the advantage. People in front of him, no builds because he went for the healer. Everyone's on low ground. There's so many people. He goes down top 5. He's hyped, but it may not be enough. We don't know. An absolutely ridiculous ending to this storyline right now. We don't know if Ages and Innocence are still in this one. One of them went down. Sizzlucky and Lazard. There's only one player. I don't know if that's Papa Arab. Someone's come in to get hyped with him. I'm not sure who it is. They're going to kind of run this out now. The end of the game, make sure he gets congratulated. He's on the low ground. Oh no, I don't know who walks away with the win. We can't see. We're going to have to close this one out. It's going to come down to a leaderboard check. That was so insanely tight at the top. I have no idea. We've got Arab's hype going on. We're all hyped. It's going to come back to the leaderboard check. We don't actually know who just won that one. Such a tight finish. EU ended like this. OCE ended like this. And now NA East is ending on the final game. Oh my God.
And the impact of actually what Coop just did, he dropped down to low ground, took out Agers, and then Arab follows up and takes out Innocence before top 5, and then actually before top 10, I think, possibly, because you saw it last one at 17, and that all happened in a brief blink of an eye. And the off-field 2 pushed him for that top 5 placement. He didn't have the mats, he didn't get any refresh, so he did what he could to get the max amount of points. Arab and Coop might have just done it, but Innocence and Agers, remember, there were it was a 1 point difference before that game happened. So all those different things can combine for possibly a win from Arab and Coop. I do want to, before we get to the leaderboards, NA West is up next. The games are starting. We want to watch this play out first. Want to watch and look at the entire leaderboard. And then we do have it, so let's just hop to it. I want to make this quick for you guys. Top 10 first. Agers and Innocence hold on by 1 point.
Wow.
And the warm-up is literally indicative. They won by 1 point in the warm-up too. And now in week 3, they do it again by 1 point. And no, it was not enough. Arab and Coop, even though they took them out in the final moments, they just could not overtake the Titans at the top.
I mean, they had that tiebreaker potential as well. If they won out, the game would not be there. They had to stop these guys 2 kills before that very end spot. Didn't have the chance, but still, second place. Nothing to scoff at. It's very hard to keep up. Not even Season Bizzle can touch and try to take over Innocence and Agers. And I don't know if they're going to split after this. I hope they don't. There's no way after this that's even in their minds. All the way down, though, at 10th place is Season Bizzle. If we go over to the next page, Chapin AV actually 6th overall, climbing all the way back up from 20th or 15th or the 11th spot down to 20th. Zexro and Mac actually end up qualifying. And at the very last slot, 23 points with a tiebreaker on average elims, Graska and Daxor are the ones to qualify for the finals, the grand finals at the very end of this competition.
If we can get the next page, that'd be wonderful.
Pretty impressive. Arab and Coop managing to pick up 51 points without the win too. Only 1 point behind. And here's the next page. We have it as well. So there's all the players who have definitely already qualified now. We have Grasker and Daxor. Like Bola called out really early on, came back and managed to qualify for it. Clicks and Calc having a bit of redemption. They're top 13. I don't know whether it's enough to put the questions at bay. Was it worth dropping Blake? Was it worth going with Calc? Was it worth not streaming? But top 13, 31 points. He's technically placed now. He's qualified for the finals. So big play from them. Zexro and Macwood, who already qualified, caused some issues there with Arab. 27 points for them. And the NA West players coming over, and now they've qualified last week, right? And they've qualified again. 26 points for them. That's massive. We have Massef and Ziff in there, and then we have Spades too. A lot of old school players here on the second page, going to be able to cause some upsets in the finals, I think.
All right, let's get through this last 3. The next page is important because these are the people who just barely did not make it in. A lot of these have qualified in week number 1. I'm looking at a bunch of them, but Zayt and Saf, again, not a top 20 performance at them. We talked about it. Let's move on to the next one. Bully and Tetra in there as well. Here's the rest of it. Blake can assault a rough day, 6 points only. And now also the final top 40 or 49 to 50. Terrible math, but regardless, the last 10 on the list. Sway and Scrubs, again, high hopes for them, but not making it through. Maybe the experience. These games were definitely harder than week number 1.
Yeah, definitely looks like Bully may have stuck his teammate too. Bully came just top 25, so it looks like maybe he gets to stick with a teammate finally. Qualifies for finals. Whew, what a finish though, my gosh.
With that said, guys, we'll take a quick break before we hit into NA West. 3 minutes. We'll be right back because those games are live and rolling. I'm going to be stepping away. It's just going to be these two. And the trio cast, it was the first time. We'll definitely have to make improvements all around in the remote delay and all that. But regardless, hope you enjoyed. It was experimental. We'll maybe try again in the future. But for now, it's just Shyo and Aussie. Guys, have fun today.
See you, Baller. Thank you.
Man.